OMG, yo. Thank God I am alive today. I literally never in a million years thought I would be making a freaking story time video. But yo, after the events of yesterday, like, I have to talk about it. Like, this is literally my therapy. I'm using y'all as my therapist because what the fuck? So last night was completely wild and not necessarily in like a great way. So I go out with my friend. She wanted to go out today, and I was like, bet lit. We were originally just gonna go to Arlington, Clarendon, but I had Facebook groups. It's like girl meetups in DC, DMV area, and I did this before, and I went by myself that one time, and it actually turned out pretty great. I met this girl from the group chat, and we went to the club, and I had so much fun. And her friend that was with us ended up getting us in for free, like got into the VIP. Like, it was mad. Like, I had a lot of fun that night. So I'm just like expecting tonight to go like great like that. Okay, so I just think it's crazy too how many people that weren't invited and people who had to cancel just like out of nowhere or just didn't work out, and that's truly a blessing for them. Let me just rewind like a week, because I feel like I made it out of this because of Gouda. For real, like, my dog held me down. So the other like last week, Gouda was in the house and I left, but I was gone for a little bit too long, and I come back and I realized that she peed in an accident on the ground. But she peed and my black shoes were were laying there, so they were covered in pee, and I just couldn't wear them. I tried to clean them, but it just still smells like pee. Those are usually the shoes I wear when I go out because it got a little bit of heel on them, but they're pretty comfortable. I don't ever get uncomfortable in them unless I'm standing for a really, really long time, but it's still bearable. So instead, I wear these black chunky heels to go out, and that was terrible. By the time we were in Arlington, I had to sit down because my feet were just killing me. But this one girl messaged me from the group chat because we were all planning to meet up to go to dinner, but then that fell through. The other three girls that were supposed to go didn't end up going, and then well, four girls, and then it was just me and my friend originally. So then we were gonna go to this EDM place, sound check, but realized the tickets were like $35 and we just didn't want to pay that to get in. So the girl messaged me, this girl, call her Girl B. Girl A is my original friend that I went out with. So Girl B texts me and she's just like, yeah, let's go out. I have my car, so I'm gonna be driving to DC and I can give you guys a ride home if you want to. So I was like, okay, bet, because we were literally going out to DC at that point where the EDM place was, and Metro closed at 12 and it was already like 10:30. So it was like, okay, bet, because originally just planning to go to Arlington, but we went to the bar bow and it was completely dead. There was like barely anybody there. And yeah, so we're like, might as well just go to this EDM, because I have been dying to go to an EDM like rave for so bad. I want to go so bad. But then the girl texts us, the other girl from the group chat, and was just like, originally I thought she was a promoter. She can get us in for free. Then she was just like, oh, if you guys can't find tickets, I can get them discounted for you. And I was just like, that's kind of whack. Because another girl originally texted in the group chat, she was looking to get into EDM for free. And she said, yeah, I can do it. But then she was like to me, I can only get you discounted tickets. So we was like, all right, whatever. Let's just go to DuPont, because I already know DuPont's lit. Like, if I'm gonna have to pay anything to get into anywhere, I know for a fact Decades is usually lit, so I'd rather pay, if anything, to go in there. So she picks us up, girl B, she's pretty cool, honestly. Um, super pretty, like, and she seemed so down to earth and chill. And she was older than both me and girl A. So she's like telling us about her life a little bit, and she wanted to stop at the gas station and get drinks to pregame to go in. And honestly, my thoughts were like, what the fuck? You mean get a drink like you're the one who's supposed to be driving us home? So I was already a little sus of this, bro. And we get to the 7-Eleven and we get these drinks, and we go, and she's trying to find parking. So then we park and we're just chilling in the car, just finishing our drink. And in my head, I'm already like, technically you're already breaking the law, because you cannot have your car turned on and have open containers just in the car just drinking. Like, you really can't do that. And I said this, and she was like, oh, I never heard of that, I didn't know. I'm like, yeah. So then I was just like, let me say this, because it was weighing heavily on me. Like, Shirley said too that she only drinks this specific drink, and she had one earlier in the night. So I'm like, has she drank right now? And like, she was already doing stuff that kind of alluded to it, because she was like fumbling some things or forgetting, or when the GPS was on, she was like, yo, where am I supposed to go? And I'm like, thinking in my head, like, this is the turn right here, but I don't want to be like super know-it-all, because I have done that a lot in the past. Not even intentionally, it's just like, if I know something, I like to share. But lately I've been more reserved and been like, okay, I just let people figure it out for themselves. So she figures it out. We get there, chilling, drinking. I already had like 3 shots from my house, and by the time we met her up, they were already kind of wearing off, because we had taken the metro for 30 minutes. I'd spent like an hour or 2 at bar, or so around there at Barbell. So I was already kind of wearing off, and I smoked too, so I was chilling. So yeah, I was just like, I think I should tell her about this. I was like, you know, we really cannot be drinking and driving. Like, that's super freaking dangerous. Like, you could literally kill people if you get behind the wheel and you're drunk. And like, it's super freaking serious. Like, and it kind of blew my mind how I had to be explaining this and the severity of drinking and driving, because to me it just seems like some universal thing you should know. And she was like, wow, like, nobody ever told me about that, or said anything to me about that before. I'm just like, what? Nobody in your life ever told you not to drink and drive? But she was like, she just recently started drinking. Like, she didn't drink when she was younger. Literally in the past like year or 2, she started drinking. I'm just gonna say, there were so many like other red flags, bro. She was like, oh, when I was with my other friend, we were literally like basically drinking while she was driving. Like, she's driving and got alcohol in her hand, drinking it. So I was just like, bro, what? There's no way you really think this is okay. So I was like, no, bro, like, that's literally not cool. Like, that's not cool at all. It's not funny, it's not cute, like, it's not. So we go to this first place called Abigail, which I had heard about before. I heard that they had like EDM songs there. It was not EDM songs there, and it was low-key dead. And I had a bad feeling about Abigail. Like, once we got into DuPont, I was like, I don't know, I have a bad feeling about going in here. But I was like, you know what? I expressed this to girl A, and she was like, oh, like, we're already here, just want to go? And I was like, all right, they want to go, we're already here, so we might as well go in. I don't know why we got there. Me and girl A took shots, and first of all, girl B was like, before we got in there, don't ever give me shots. Like, I'm a lighthead. Like, I can't handle that. So I'm like, so you're a lightweight, but you're saying that after one drink, you'll still be okay to drive. So in my head, I'm mentally calculating the drinks that are going on throughout the night because one, I know she said she had one drink before picking us up, which was red flag already. And I'm like, honestly, she very much could have been lying about that. She could have had however many before that. I don't know. I don't know this girl. So we get to the Abigail, and she gets another one of the drinks that she likes, and we take our shots. And I don't know, I was not feeling the vibe there at all. Like, the music they were playing just was not, it was not getting me. And you know what I realized about myself? I think I'm really just obsessed with the tens. Because honestly, that's literally like a decade that I fully lived through, I fully remember, and I had the music from start to finish. Like, I really started listening to rap and stuff. I used to listen to gospel only as a kid. So I really started listening to R&B, pop, rap, all that once, like, 2009 and later. So I can get, like, freaking lit at tens. Like, I love tens music. And for some reason, I always end up in Decades, but Decades has that fourth floor where they play throwbacks and tens music, and I always have a good time there, except last night. So we go to Decades after that and leave, and we're like walking over, it's fine. We get to Decades and they're charging, of course. This is why I also freaking hate going out too, because like paying to get into all these places just ain't it at all. So yeah, we get to Decades and it's just really kind of dead. Like, there's not anybody there, which surprised me because I'm like, this is Friday night and it's not lit. Like, compared to Halloween weekend when we went out, it was packed. There were so many people out that weekend. There was barely anybody there this weekend. I digress. So we get to Decades and she gets another drink. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I'm looking at the time. I'm like, it's literally like 1:30. Like, when are we gonna get home? Because I already said again in the car that one drink is 1 hour. You have to wait. Like, it does not matter your body size. It does not matter what type of drink it is. Like, you have to wait 1 hour after one drink to be sober. If your tolerance is high and you may not feel it, it does not matter. You're still gonna blow a breathalyzer and fail. She was like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought because it's like 10% alcohol or other stuff, it doesn't matter. Like, no. Whether it's a glass of wine, a shot of tequila, or a glass of beer, it's all the same, bro. You can't. And yeah, so I was super concerned at that point, and my feet were hurting like fucking crazy. I wanted to sit down, and I was like, bro, what the hell? Like, there's no way I'm getting home. That's a leasing lady. There's no way I'm getting home early at this point, because if she's talking about she wants to drive, like, we're not doing that. So we go downstairs, and she's like supposed to be texting this guy and to get us into Rose Bar, because Rose Bar were charging too, but they were only taking cash, and I don't carry no cash, so I was like, whatever, I'm not even trying to pay and getting here too. Anyways, like 3 clubs, all for them to be whack. And I don't know what it is, bro. I just don't think I'm meant to go in Rose Bar, because every time I get to DuPont, every time I've been out, either with people or by myself, it never works out to go into Rose Bar. So I'm taking it as a sign. I do not need to be there, because it never works out. So we're sitting and waiting downstairs at Decades for her to get this answer from this guy she knew. Apparently it was security. Oh my gosh, because this was another whole story she told us before we went in. So she went out with another girl that, I'm just spilling all the tea because whatever. She went out with another girl, and they got really, really, or she got really, really drunk that night. Actually, this is multiple occasions she's talking about. One time she went out by herself, got really, really drunk, and she met the security guard at Rose Bar. And he basically like helped her out, like he stayed with her the whole night. But apparently she blacked out, so she didn't even remember from meeting this dude and having him walk her in with her at the club to him finding her car with her and putting her in the back seat, because apparently she was able to convince him that she was actually sober and she doesn't even remember it. So friend A was like, so does that mean you're good at convincing people that you're not drunk? And she's like, no, not necessarily. I'm just good at like communicating. I'm just like, yeah, you are. So you're literally telling us later tonight you're gonna try to convince us that you're not drunk. Like, I was already in my head, like, what? So she tells us about this other story, about this other girl she met from the group chat, and she went out with her, and she also got blackout drunk again, and she doesn't remember anything but waking up in her bed the next morning with her shoes taken off and a note left for her by the girl, and she basically just took care of her and got her home. A blessing. And I'm just like, I've been out by myself multiple times to go clubbing, and I've had a great time, but never have I been super wasted or blackout drunk in my life. Like, that's kind of crazy. You're going out and you do not know these people enough for them to just take care of you. Like, they could literally take advantage of you or do worse. So yeah, I was already on edge because of that. And we're sitting at the first floor at Decades waiting for her because she wanted to get a text from the student to get us into Rose Bar, apparently get us a stamp, get us back in. And at this point, it was like 2 a.m. And I'm thinking in my head about that How I Met Your Mother clip where Ted's just like, nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m. Or his mom said that. So I was thinking in my head, like, yo, it's about to be up for this because nothing good happens after 2 a.m. And I just had a feeling. So we are waiting for her, and she's literally nodding off at the bar, like just sitting there like, and I'm just like, bro, are you good? Like, are you good? Like, you're literally mad drunk right now. Like, there's no way you can drive us home. Friend A was already like, she did not have that much to drink. She's good. And I know that she only had the drinks before we left the house, which was around like 8. And then the one shot we had at Abigail's at around like 12 something. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure she would be good to drive. So I was like, yo, she can drive us home, and you can just sleep over in my house and then drive your car back to your house in the morning because you're too drunk. She's like, no, I got it. But this guy is coming and he's outside right now and he helps out. So we go outside. She's supposed to talk to this dude. And honestly, I'm just going with it. I didn't really want to leave her because I knew what state she was in, and I felt kind of bad. And I was like, damn, we could have just took an Uber now home, but you don't want to just leave her out here. And we came out with her. So then she's talking to this dude. I'm not sitting there because my feet hurt. So I'm sitting at the little bus stop and just like looking back at them through the glass. My friend A was there with her too, because she was originally sitting with me, but then she's like, yo, what's going on? I don't even know what type of conversation they had about that. But dude was in like a police vest now. So I'm like, this dad doesn't even look like he works security at the club. Like, you know, he's about to get us into Rose Bar. Honestly, I don't know what happened there, but we do not end up getting there. So I'm just like, yo, I really just want to go home. And she's like, oh, okay, like, I got it. I'm like, yo, you are too drunk right now to drive. And I'm not completely sober. I'm like a little tipsy at that point. And I'm still just like, you can't drive. And she was like, no, I'm good. And friend A was like, I'm gonna go with her. And she was like, we'll bring the car around for you because I know your feet's hurting. So I'm like, okay. Bring the car around and I'll wait here at the bus stop. Mind you, I left my jacket in the car because I thought that the club was gonna be hot. So I'm literally sitting in like this short, like no sleeve jumper. And I am freezing my butt off sitting at that bus stop, but I do not have the strength to walk to the car because my feet are literally killing me. So then her friend A and friend B go to the car. I'm thinking, okay, friend A is going to drive because clearly friend B cannot drive. And I'm waiting there for a while. Like it's a good amount of time. Like I thought I started waiting there at like 2:30, because before they left, I looked down at the clock and it was like 2:22, which I always see a lot too for some reason. But I'm waiting there for a while and I call them. I'm just like, yo, where are you? And she's like, mind you, friend A's phone died, so I can only talk to friend B over the phone. And I can't even do anything because my house keys are in my jacket in her car. So friend B is just like, oh, we're coming, but the GPS is like rerouting us wrong. There's so many blocked off streets, which there were, but typically when the streets are blocked off, it'll show on the GPS or it'll just reroute you. And it's literally around the corner. Like she was parked around, like this is where I was. This is a street right here. She was parked like right here. But that street was blocked off. So she had to go around. So yeah, I'm waiting there. It's still a long time. So I call back again and I just hear like over the phone, they're talking and then a crash. And she's like, oh my gosh, we hit the tree. I'm like, oh my God, this cannot be real right now, bro. She literally crashed her car. And this random other guy, like I'm listening over the phone, just gets out of his car, goes over, and it's like, oh, do you want me to like get in the car and make it seem like he was one driving? And I'm like, that's super freaking odd. Like, who the heck would just take the fall for something like that? And then another guy was there and he's like, you gotta leave before the cops come. And then they were like, no, the cops are already here. I'm like, yeah, they literally were the ones who blocked off that street. There's cops all around in this whole entire block, bro. So I'm just like, because after that, I was like, before I heard that happen, I was saying, do you want me to just walk to you? At this point, you guys cannot make it over here. And I'm like, she's the one driving. I'm just like, this is down bad. And I was really thinking in my head too, like, bro, if she were to pull up around the corner right here driving, I'm telling friend A, let's go. We're not going back with her. We're not driving with her because that's freaking crazy. But she never even made it around the block to me. So at that point, I was like, I gotta walk, but I cannot with these shoes. So I took my shoes off. I felt mad ghetto, barefoot, indecent, but it is what it is. And I walk over there. It takes me like 5 minutes. They were literally 5-minute walk away. And I see the car and against a tree, and I'm just like, this shit is freaking crazy. There's a police officer there already, woman talking to her. What the fuck? And I'm just like, okay, I get my jacket because friend A already got it for me out the car. I'm like lit, but I was like, I have to use the bathroom because I could not hold it. Like I was about to pee myself. So I look on the maps and I see there's McDonald's like 7-minute walk away. So I walk there and friend A stays back with her. And I was nervous too because her phone was dead. So like I'm hoping that they don't arrest her before I get back for my other friend because her phone's dead. And the other girl, our friend B, shared her location. So that's how I knew where to find them. So I go to McDonald's. I was hungry though, so I got a burger. And I walk back after using the bathroom, and as soon as I get back there, the other cop car is leaving, like, with her detained. So I'm like, oh shit. And then I see friend A, and I'm just like, I'm so glad you're okay, bro. Like, she was like, she thought I left. I'm like, no, like, I didn't leave. I just had to use the bathroom. I wouldn't just leave it there. That's so deep. But, yo, that whole thing was terrible. And I'm just like, okay, like, I'm just gonna get an Uber back. So we literally just, I order Uber, and it takes like 13 minutes to get there, and we're able to get back to my house. But at that point, I was freaking freezing. I put my heels back on, so those were just still hurting like a bitch. And I'm just like, yo, I'm so glad she was okay and alive, because I don't even know if I could have been able to forgive myself if I knew that she would and would have died in a drunk driving accident trying to pick me up sitting outside there. And yeah, we were just talking about how fucking crazy that shit was on the way back. And I don't know why I felt like my house was like an igloo or something. It was so cold. Like, it took me so long to warm back up after being out there. Like, I had like whole onesie on, 3 blankets, comforters, and yo, and I just slept. And I feel like too, like, I wasted like majority of half my day today. Like, I was so drained and tired. I did not wake up until like 1 something. I'm like, I cannot do that, yo. I have no desire now to go to the club. Like, no. But yeah, and that brings me back to Gouda. Hey, little baby. Bro, if Gouda had not peed in my shoes and I wore comfortable shoes and would have gotten in her car earlier than, or at all after that happened, and we would have went on the highway, we could have literally died. Like, legit died. So thank God for my shoes hurting, my feet hurting the way they did, and them being in a low speed area, because they were going any faster. Then friend A could have gotten more hurt too. She was in the passenger seat, and they hit the tree on the passenger side. So I'm just so grateful to be alive and how things panned out. Thank you, Gouda, too. But yeah, that was crazy night. I guess she got released this morning, and I don't know what happened to her car, but she texted me and was like, I'm so genuinely sorry. And I was legit just like, yeah, nah, I could not be friends with anybody who would put my life or their own on the line like that. That's just freaking wild. I would be crazy to keep that type of company, because at the end of the day, I'd rather have no company than bad company, and that for sure is bad company, yo. Like, God was protecting me for sure, and for real, use me, because it's like I literally foresee it before we even got to the club, and she did not want to take no type of heed. But yeah, honestly, I feel like I shouldn't even put myself in a situation where I'm just meeting this random girl and going out like that. And honestly, if I'm meeting people specifically to go clubbing, I feel like this is the type of energy I'm going to get, or type of people I'm going to surround myself by. And I don't want to be around those types of people. Like, I always valued other stuff anyways, not clubbing, but I was kind of trying to play into this like clubbing narrative, because people are always saying, I always get it. You're in your 20s, you should be living life, having fun, and what they equate to fun is the clubs. And I'm not gonna lie, at times it can be. When you got the right place with the right music that you love, you could have a ball, but you don't necessarily have to be super drunk to do that. And I don't know, I just feel like it put me in a bad position to meet people who I really don't need to be around. So yeah, currently reevaluating my life in terms of that, and just like, if I really do want to meet people and make friends, I gotta do it in other ways, because meeting people for the sake of clubbing is not it at all. But you live and you learn, and I'm just so blessed that I lived to learn. But yeah, I'm just kind of shocked that life really could have ended like that, just from simple mistakes. And it's wild because before we even get there, I was like, yo, if either of us, or even not us, anybody you're driving with is in the car with you and you get in an accident and they die, you are going to jail for manslaughter. Like, murder, bro. Like, there's no way around it. You're going to jail for murder. And she was like, yeah, you're right. It's so true. Bruh. But yeah, that's my story time. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to not get into the car with anybody who's drinking, or even let anybody who's drinking get behind the wheel. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed in myself too that I didn't insist more on her not driving at all before we left, but I just didn't want to be like too motherly and tell this grown woman about herself and stand my ground and stand on business, but I didn't, and clearly that happened. But at the end of the day though, it's like, me saying it wasn't enough. Like, she had to have consequences to her actions to really get it. And I hope she does get it at this point, because it could have been a hell of a lot worse. So be safe, y'all.